Texting. It is a what the hell is today? It's the 6th.
Tuesday.
It is a THC Tuesday. Trust me, the T, the H, and the C have been used already.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I took a gummy. I got to. I'm surprised I haven't been popping them all day after what happened last night.
Yeah.
We are back in the mid-sack. It was a gorgeous day. Suddenly it feels like fall.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I grabbed a sweater because we got takeout time from Sal's, and on the way back I was like, I had my sunroof open. I'm like, what the hell just happened here? So I figured I'd better please put on a little warm top of the one team I can smile at right now. That is the Redoubtable and the Highly Questionable. This is ID Details, Don't Disagree, segment 1, all things, what the fuck, America.
Yowzes.
You know, I knew this was going to happen. I just didn't think it was going to happen this soon.
You called it.
So he's going to go first because his team won, and to the victor goes the spoils. Yes, it is game 1. No, the series is not over. But still, if this wasn't a warning shot across the bow, and the bow being a brain, let's hope it woke a brain, any brain, wearing green up right now. But without further ado, the Redoubtable one, you were cussing and moaning and pissing and shitting and everything else and sending out premature memes like you read about, only to be foiled at the end.
Yeah, that's true.
So while he is happy, he also has to kind of admit something here. So, but anyway, it's your team. You're up 1-0. Congratulations.
Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it. And I actually was going to start by thanking you and Lawton for not judging me. Because mid-game emotions are a funny thing, folks, okay? Mine, especially with this team, tend to be, okay, because that's what the Knicks will do to you. Obviously, that's what the Celtics will do to you as well. It's just a part of sports. But, you know, during the game, I mean, I was pissed in the first half, okay, because the Celtics came out and laid an egg in the first quarter. Did not play well, and it was basically an even game. Now, the Knicks didn't play well either, but
the Knicks were tired. The Celtics were rusty. That's kind of
that's what it looked like. Yeah, you're
fatigued.
right.
One team hadn't played in a week. That's kind of why the first quarter kind of looked like what it looked like.
Yeah, it was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, what the fuck?
And then the second, and I was pissed because in my head I'm going, any time the Celtics don't shoot well or don't play well, we have to get a lead. Because they're better than us. Second quarter rolls around, Cat's in foul trouble, and the Celtics do what they've done to the Knicks for the past 2 years. They just bitch slap them, treat them like a little kid, and they take like a, 15, 16-point lead going into halftime.
16 points.
Yeah. And then the third quarter comes around, and the first half of it, again, I start sending sweet memes. Because I have no hope. What was that?
5:33
left in the third quarter. Yeah. So I start sending sweet memes.
Write that down.
I start sending sweet memes because I'm just, I'm kind of devastated because it just feels like, damn. There was a little bit of me that hoped the Knicks could at least make this competitive, and to midway through the third, it didn't feel like they could. And then the Celtics shot us back in the game. Which
wait, stop me if you've never heard that before.
Right. Now, he's been saying all along they will do this to everybody. I've just never seen them do it to the Knicks.
It's a matter of time.
and the thing is, they have shot a ton of threes against the Knicks. They've never shot this poorly against the Knicks, and it was bad. I just rewatched the 5:33 to the end of the game again, and I mean it's embarrassing what the Celtics did. It's an absolute embarrassment, and it's funny because as the Knicks, when the game got tied, the first thing Jaylen Brown does is go right to the hoop and gets a bucket, and it's like, what the fuck are you waiting for? But anyway, like anybody with half a brain knows that I'm a Knicks fan. I'm not a dumb Knicks fan, okay? So I know if we're going to win this series, we need Boston's help. And last night they gave us help. Now, granted, the Knicks made some clutch-ass plays on the offensive side of the ball. They really did. Jalen hit some nice shots. Josh Hart had some great hustle plays on the offensive glass. Mikal Bridges had amazing defensive plays. And my hope is this. My hope is that the Knicks now feel some confidence that, okay, we can beat this team. Now, deep down, we know if Boston plays smart, they can't.
However,
they don't seem to be capable of playing smart.
Say that again. Say that again slowly.
They don't seem capable of playing at least a full game smart. They just don't. And like you've said, and I've agreed with you, if they don't shoot well, it can be an uh-oh moment because they're not willing to adjust mid-game. And a guy on New York Sports I thought made a good point. He was like, because somebody called them arrogant, and he was like, I don't think they're arrogant. They didn't get to take as many threes in that Orlando series.
They won in 5.
I know.
And if they didn't turn the ball over 21 times in Game 4, they would have swept them.
But what Evan,
that game by 2.
I know. But what Evan Roberts said was like, it was almost as if they came out and they were like, we got to get back to doing what we do, and just chuck, and it was bad. I mean, now the Knicks did much better on defense. They got, they actually showed a pair. They were pushing, shoving. They were being physical, but. It's still, I mean, this was a loaf job. The Celtics lost the game, and I'm happy about it.
You should be.
But
because as I said before this whole thing started, that Boston will give you 2. So the Knicks don't have to beat Boston 4 times. I keep telling my dumbass brother this. They only have to beat them twice.
Yeah.
Well, Boston has already given them 1.
They gave them that one.
And if they give them another one, Boston's in serious trouble.
You don't want to give a team confidence.
How much trouble are they in? This is how much trouble they're in. If Boston loses tomorrow night, Boston loses the series.
Yeah,
because
that's a
of
tough
what
hole.
he said in the middle of his rant was confidence.
Yeah.
I've earned my arrogance over the decades. I've earned it. I don't care if you like it or not, because most people that hear this know when I played them one-on-one, I used to shut people out that were college players. So I've earned my arrogance. 4 state titles, 3 division undefeated seasons, 2 gold medals in Massachusetts, Division I South Section, the only one in the school's history, by the way. Since I left, they ain't done shit in 35 years. Okay? So I've earned my arrogance. Whether you like it or not, I earned it. I didn't just show up and have it. No, I won before I acted this way. And I learned that from Larry Bird. I learned it from Red Auerbach. I didn't invent the game, boys and girls. I just learned from the best. So when I tell you something, it's not coming from me. It's coming from Red. It's coming from Dave Cowens, 1973 NBA MVP, 2 world champions. It's coming from Don Nelson, 3-time NBA Coach of the Year, 8-time world champion with the Boston. It's coming from Satch Sanders, the greatest perimeter defender this side of Scottie Pippen. In fact, Scottie Pippen was a spinoff of Satch Sanders. That's the guy who taught me how to play defense. Anybody who's ever played against me will tell you they've never seen a better defensive player up close. Well, Satch Sanders taught me how to play defense. These are the people that taught me the game. And the quickest way to beat a team is not on the court. It's up here. And the quickest way to get in a match that you don't want to be in is to give said team confidence up here, which is exactly what the Boston Celtics did. So on top of the NBA record, by the way, 45 fucking missed threes. As dumb as that sounds, here's where it gets even dumber. You were up 20.
Yeah.
They were in foul trouble. And by the way, at the time this tapestry of idiocy began, you were 22 of 26 from the foul line, which by the way is how you built the 20-point lead, because you weren't making threes all fucking night.
Right.
So this is where, and I know people get mad at me because they hate when I call people stupid. Usually with me, you've earned it.
That one.
Usually with me, you've earned it. This is nothing I haven't seen before. We're in double digits here, boys and girls.
Yeah.
And that's this year alone. People were going, you're overreacting when they lost 13 games at home. How do you think they lost them?
Yeah.
Put that tape back in. You're going to see something eerily similar to the other 13 they dropped. Because I guarantee you, at least 11 of them, this is what happened.
Yeah.
You want to pin 2 or 3 of them maybe on turnovers? Okay, fine. Missing a starter here or there? Okay, fine. But for the most part, this is what happened.
Yeah.
This is how it happened.
They beat themselves.
They beat themselves. And they do it because they're too stupid. This is not stubborn anymore. This is stupid. Because
Yeah,
if
I have
Joe
to agree.
Mazzulla is the coach that he thinks he is, and he's like the black J.J. Redick. He thinks he's smarter than everybody in the room. Okay? All one had to do, Mr. Analytics, is look at the numbers. Because at halftime, when you were up 16, no one would look at your stat sheet and go, it's because of all the threes they hit. Because it wasn't.
What they have? They had like 6 threes in the first half,
Like
maybe 8. I don't know.
7, maybe. Whatever it was. They ended up with 15 for the game on 60 fucking attempts.
Right.
But the thing is, that's not how you got that lead. You got that lead going to the basket. You got that lead because you got Cat Towns in foul trouble because you went to the fucking basket.
Jalen Brown was abusing Brunson under the hoop.
Because he couldn't even touch him.
Exactly.
It's like, what? This is where...
He had 2 fouls.
This is the thing. This is not like I'm the smartest guy in the room now. Anybody with 2 eyes that work and watch that game would tell you what I'm telling you.
Time out.
Why?
Why not?
Right? Always when I'm in a rant, it's either him or it's her. Usually it's her.
So weird.
The bottom
to
line
see
is...
just you two out
The bottom line is... The adorable one. The bottom line is this... They're stupid.
What are we talking about?
I can't... What do you think we're talking about? They're stupid. Okay?
It literally could be.
I'll give you a hint. There's 2 green jerseys over your head. Go look at them. They're stupid. Okay? Because when you do something like this over and over, what's the saying? It's like the response.
Insanity.
They keep doing the same thing, looking for a different result.
Insanity.
Okay? It's insanity. They won the Orlando series in 5 games. Not one game did they take more than 43s. Not one. And Orlando is a better defensive team than the Knicks. And if you doubt that, go look it up. They are. Okay? Boston lived at the free throw line. And even though they were missing starters in every game, they only lost 1 game by 2 because they had 21 turnovers. Had they taken care of the ball, they would have swept them.
Yeah.
And they took 37 threes, was the most they took in any game in that 5-game series. What do these donkeys do in game 1? Up 20? And the opponent's in foul trouble and is already afraid of you. You know what?
They don't go inside the 3-point line.
They don't step inside
they
the
didn't go
three-point
inside.
line. They had 20 shot attempts in the third quarter.
19.
19 of them were threes. You can't stop talking. You cannot be that fucking
That's crazy.
stupid. Okay?
Well,
and
fourth quarter didn't. Tatum took 7 shots. 6 were threes.
6 for threes.
All 6 misses, right?
All 6 misses. No, he made 1. He made
As I
one.
said
He made
the other
one-
day,
one out of
there's a
7.
I thought he
serious
didn't make
problem.
any.
No, that's right. No, he was a 2-point
It's really
and he
bad.
went
They
for
can't
7.
even
Right.
get
Over
half
6.
of
right.
them, So you know, like, what the heck?
So, the point-
Yeah, it was. This. I feel like that was the worst I've ever seen from them. Would you say that?
well, I have an
This
NBA
thing
record now to
dressed
prove
on
it.
me.
Yeah, I mean,
They never broke a record.
right? Like we've seen them do
Stupid
dumb things. This was an all-timer.
This was an all-time.
It really was.
This was this. If I could grow this by like 5 sizes,
Yeah.
this was that size of a loaf.
Well, and that's the thing. Like as I'm watching it, so and I've told you now it's up to 98%. 98%
I'd be
of.
99 after what I just said. I think we're getting close.
Well, I mean, you've been saying this for years.
Yeah, but I've been vindicated almost every time.
I know, but like, it's almost like, when you say something like that, sometimes I feel like you're a little emotional, you're a little angry, you're embellishing some of it, but then watching that game, like I'm like, there's no way they just keep.
Is it possible I may have undersold it?
Yeah. Well, last night, without a doubt, I mean, just
Undersold it.
seeing the way that unfolded, and just going just watching it and going, how are they not making an adjustment? And I think Jay Williams was the one that said it today when I realized it. He goes, they didn't go inside the 3-point line in that third quarter. And it's great. There was a time where they got 2 offensive rebounds,
Kicked it back.
Kicked it out for a
When
rush 3.
They had a putback.
Right.
And they kicked it out for a
and then Drew Holiday picks up one in the corner and rushes a 3. Like, why are you shooting early in the shot clock up by 20?
You're up 20.
Better question, why are you shooting shots you can't make?
Well, they make them. They do make them.
Yeah.
They led the NBA in 3-pointers made.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
But there's a
Can
higher
you say-
probability of
No, the
making
point is,
this.
as
So
I-
didn't you say earlier that they had the most missed 3-pointers in a game?
They set an NBA record for most misses last night. That was a playoff record in the history of the
Yeah.
NBA. They now hold
So
the
why
record.
are you shooting shots you can barely make?
That is the question, Mia. We're all trying to ask.
Yeah.
The bottom line is this: shooting is a rhythm. He's heard me say this before when I'm coaching. You don't build a house from the roof down. You build it from the ground up. And if your 3-pointers aren't falling, which they weren't all effing night, and you're up 20, What makes you think that you should shoot them now?
Yeah.
When you don't even need to shoot.
You could be up 30.
You could be just go to the basket. They can't even touch you because they're all in foul trouble.
Right, exactly.
You're gonna. What are you talking about? Like this is what Joe Mazzulla. And then here's the worst part. Did you see Missoula's press conference?
Well, where he said there might have been 12 shots that were bad or something like that.
He had no problem with their shot selection.
Dumb poop head.
You excuse me? You're the only person wearing green that didn't.
Yeah.
Okay? And Jaylen Brown, and look, I love Jaylen Brown, but I'm getting awful tired of Jaylen Brown sitting there in the post game and then talking tough.
What did he say?
Well, he basically, and these idiots, they're like Trump's cabinet. They're like, oh wow, thank you, the greatest, Jason. Jaylen, thank you for that nugget of fucking knowledge. Hey, Jaylen, you can't sit there after the fact and say we shouldn't have forced that. Instead, we should have gone to the basket to stop momentum. You don't stop momentum by taking threes. Well, Jaylen, you were 1 for
Why'd
10.
you do it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you were 1 for 10. So why'd you keep doing it then?
And as smart as we know he is,
As a person,
there's
as
no
a person.
excuse.
As a basketball player, I've always said I question his intelligence.
Which is so
I've always
weird.
questioned
Which
it.
is like,
And
how do you
last
just
night-
become dumb on the court? It doesn't make sense.
Matt Patricia has a doctorate in astrophysics. Matt Patricia
Really?
as a football coach is dumber than. Are you kidding me? You just because you're great at one thing, like Elon Musk is a great at investments.
But I'm
Look at
saying,
what
like,
Doge is doing to the guy.
Yeah, no, you're right.
You
You're
can't
right.
just because you're great at
You're
one
right.
thing doesn't mean you're great at everything
Yeah.
or you're smart at everything.
Yeah, like I'm really good at science, but I suck at math.
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown, let's be clear here, came out after his freshman year. He didn't have a degree in anything yet. Doesn't mean he's not
Yeah.
intelligent.
Wait,
Doesn't
his
mean those
freshman
things.
year of college?
Yeah, but the bottom line is, I don't even know I couldn't even tell you who his coach was at Cal. I couldn't even tell you. Okay?
Jesus.
So the thing is, I don't know what he knows about basketball, although I'm starting to find
even
out.
happened?
Donovan Mitchell got hurt.
Yeah, but like how?
I don't know. I didn't see. I'm talking. The bottom line is this. Okay, the
that's
Boston Celtics. When I say you are stupid, okay, you have no leg to stand on. I can go back in the history. There's the last 3 years, starting with that Miami Heat series where you gave them three, you coughed up 3 games because of shit like this. Okay, the Philadelphia game at home, and where Embiid doesn't play and you lose at home in a playoff game. Like I could go on and on and on about all the times you idiots have shit in your hat. Okay? And you're idiots. You're basketball idiots. You might be fucking Harvard scholars, okay, in every other walk of your life. But as basketball players, you are fucking dumb. You are the dumbest fucking Celtics basketball team I have seen in 52 years on this earth. And here's the thing. You're right now, your lasting impression, this era, this group, is not Banner 18. It's your utter fucking stupidity when it comes to situational basketball.
Okay, so
You have done it too many times for it to be a fluke or an off night. They weren't. No, this is the playoffs. This is New York, Boston. You were all saying it in the pregame. It's New York, Boston.
Right.
The history in these two cities, sports-wise, is as long as back to the Constitution, for Christ's sake.
Yep.
Okay, it goes back almost that far. So you all were aware of it. So don't then turn around and Jaylen try and put on a good face. How about you say this, Jaylen? I fucked up.
That'd be better.
I would have more respect if Jaylen Brown said, I effed up. I was 0 for whatever before I made my first one. But every time I went to the basket, something good happened.
You said he was 1 for 10?
He was 1 for 10 in the game.
Oh, God. And he hit that one with like a minute to go, 2 minutes to
He
go,
hit the
something
first
like
one,
that.
yeah, he was 0 for whatever before he hit it. The point is that when you were going to the basket, they couldn't stop you. All they could do was foul you, which I have been screaming this for 3 years. When Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum decide they're going to go to the basket, there is no one on this planet that can stop them. Yet, they continue, and this is where Joe Mazzulla needs to take his head out of his ass. I told this to a guy who's a diehard Celtics fan today. I said, the only reason to play this style of play is if your best player is 6'4" or lower, or you're small.
Right.
But the Celtics don't have that problem.
Yeah.
The Celtics' 3 best players are 6'10", 6'7", and 7'2", if you want to count Porzingis, 7'3". There is no need to play this style of play. That doesn't mean you don't shoot threes, but they come in the flow of the
And you have
offense.
small guys that play big.
And small
Even
guys,
their small guys, they play like they're 6'7".
Yeah, Derek White and Drew Holiday can also drive to the basket.
Right. They play like they're 6'7".
Yeah, they're like you don't have the problem that this Golden State Warriors had. Golden State had to play this style of play because Steph Curry can't do what Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum does.
And their big man was Draymond, who's what, 6'9"?
6'9", he's not even a real big man.
Yeah.
Okay? They had no choice but to play this style of play. if they were going to build a team around Steph, because that was his game. The Boston Celtics never had this problem. They do now.
Yeah.
And now they don't know how to turn it off. And this is the thing. Missoula, when it got to 11, Missoula called timeout. You know what happened out of the timeout? 3.
Yeah.
End of the fourth quarter.
And it was a make, right?
Yeah,
it was a make.
No, it was a miss.
That was a miss.
It was a miss. At the end of the
every time they come out of a timeout, it's a 3.
Well, at the end of the third quarter, when it was 9. Okay, 9. All right, Pistons. I mean, Knicks made a run. Knicks too good not to make a run. They were going to make a run. It's not okay. No problem. Well, they come out 3.
Called a charge?
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
On Donovan Mitchell.
What they do?
And he's got the leg problem. Oh.
Jeez, he must be cramping or something.
Wait,
Let's hope it's
again?
apparent.
Wait, did he go down again?
So.
Not him, the other guy.
Yeah, it was man.
Pink
It was
sheet,
a
purple.
So.
it was a weird thing to watch.
And let me tell you something. I almost feel bad for Knicks fans this morning because they know what happened.
Not all of them.
You can sit there and say, look, you guys missed 17 free throws.
Yeah.
You're not getting any credit from me when you missed 17 free throws. No. You didn't deserve to win that game.
No,
17
the
missed
Knicks
free
didn't
throws?
play well.
They didn't play well. The Celtics
They were out rebounded by 10.
Yep, they were out rebounded by 10. They did not.
They missed 17 free throws.
I
I think we had 20. How many turnovers? We had.
You had like 17.
We cleaned it up in the fourth. The first 3
You had
quarters were ugly. I mean, just
There's
terrible.
no way you should have been within 20 points
No.
of this team.
Should have been down
There's
30.
one reason you were, because they kept doing
Yeah.
the one thing they didn't need to do.
Yeah.
Which tells everyone with a brain that's a real Celtics fan, this is a stupid basketball team. And Jaylen Brown, I don't care if you're offended. Jason Tatum, I could give a shit. Okay? Joe Mazzulla, eat it. Eat it raw. Okay? You're all fucking stupid. And if you lose tomorrow night, you're done. You're all done. And the only solace I can take is maybe they'll fire your fucking ass for crashing the Ferrari for the 3rd time in 4 years. Because you've had the best roster in the NBA for the last 4 years. You got one title to show for it.
Yeah. Dude, and then the other part of it is you blew a game you never should have blown. You gave them confidence. Now Hauser gets hurt.
Yep.
So your depth is affected.
We don't know what
Who knows
Porzingis-
what's going on with Porzingis? Illness? I don't know what the hell's
They
going on.
didn't know he was sick. Mazzulla claims he didn't know until he went out.
Wait,
of the
what's
game.
wrong with him?
He's battling some illness. No one's saying what the hell.
Obviously, Jaylen Brown still isn't.
He went to the basket very well.
But
He
not,
should've just kept
but
going
not
to the basket.
dunking wise. And
But no, you're not going to get a lot of dunks against the Knicks because they play good interior.
I guess
You're going to
they're
get
gonna
bumped. You're going
body
to get
you.
hit.
Yeah, they're
You're not going to get a lot
gonna
of
body you.
clean looks
Yeah.
for a dunk. But he was going to the basket.
what
well.
about Tatum's wrist? Because he shot terribly. I mean,
Go to the basket?
Hasn't he had about
He hit 44 free throws in a row in one stretch of the playoffs after the injury.
yeah.
So he went like 11 for 11, not 44, 11 for 11, 14 for 14. And
So
12
you
for
think that's not a factor?
No. This is all mental. This is all between the ears.
What about Holiday?
Holiday looked great last night.
Yeah.
His mobility, he teed up Brunson. He was all over him. I mean, look at this. Should not have been a game in the fourth quarter. But as I kept telling him, all the Knicks have to do is get it to the fourth
Right,
quarter.
just
And
keep
if it's
fighting, keep
close,
fighting.
somebody in green is going to shoot a 3 when you don't need to.
And then in overtime, the Celtics looked tight.
Lofies.
The Celtics looked nervous
Yeah.
in overtime. Because it was like, oh shit, what have we done? What have we done?
Well, I don't know, but I can smell something.
Yeah. They
I'll
love.
give you a hint. Doesn't pass the smell test. That's it reeks.
There could be corn in
There
there.
could be some corn. This might be a clogger. It might actually be a clogger.
Get the plunger.
A plunger. It might be one of those.
Yeah, because this wasn't a quick loaf came out. This was overtime. They were just laying it.
No, he just kept coming.
Yeah, they
This
were
is
just
the one that
laying
didn't break
it.
off.
It was just
kept going. Kept going.
Oh, and it was like a soup can,
Yeah.
just that wide.
Looked like this.
God.
Going and going. And whatever toilet it went into, clogged.
Oh yeah,
They clogged the toilet.
Stuck right
The
in the
Celtics clogged.
Right in the
that was
pea
like
trap.
clogged the toilet loafy last night.
Without a doubt.
Clogged the toilet loafy.
I mean,
So-
it was a 18-minute loafy.
So as much as I want to sit there and give the Knicks credit, I'm trying to figure out what I'm giving them credit for. Maybe if they had made their free throws.
They made some big shots. They had some clutch plays down the
They
stretch.
made those shots for one reason, and because they had confidence.
No doubt.
You know why? Okay.
Because the Celtics
Well, also
had
though, the
last
Knicks.
night.
But see, the Knicks, once a game gets tight, they're used to playing game. Like the Knicks played games like that against the Wizards. Everybody they friggin' played, it was
Well,
like
the Knicks
a
don't
down-
have the firepower to blow people
Right.
out, first of all.
Yeah.
Where the Celtics had the firepower to blow everybody out if they used
Yeah,
their
because
brain.
1 through 5, it's
1
like
through 7.
I mean,
Horford,
that's true.
Pritchard
Pritchard off the bench.
And Horford are the first 2 guys off the bench.
So
Yeah,
I'm
so-
starting
Even
to
Pritchard
rethink-
last night, step back threes up 20. It's like,
So
I'm starting to rethink my prediction.
go ahead, rethink it. But you don't have to answer. The bottom line is this: we're going to take a break. Segment 2 coming up. We are in a Donnie right now. Cleveland is trying to avoid an 0-2 hole. They're very
Do they have
and
Cleveland?
Indiana just
oh my God, they just stole
the
it.
ball, and the clock just started running. That
Did
was
I have
weird.
Cleveland?
Yeah, you did. We all had Cleveland. But the point is, Indiana might tie this game up.
He's gonna
with
shoot
3.
this.
Don't give him the 3. Don't give him the
He
3.
wants it.
Don't
Get your
give him
hands
the
up, you
3.
poopies.
Okay, foul's
Thank you.
all right.
Jeez.
Fouls and
Oh,
hurt.
they call the foul. Okay.
Foul, it's all
Wait,
right.
is he good at?
Doesn't matter. They're down 3. He can only shoot 2. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. Segment 2, we will finish up with this game. Game 1, Golden State,
Go Golden
Minnesota.
State's on
is
next.
tonight.
Dude, that's an interesting series.
We're going to talk about that soon.
Who do I have? Oh,
we're
I
going to get a chance to
Houston.
break that down. But we'll talk about that. Segment 2 coming right up.
So what's the topic?